What is up, everybody? It is yours truly, once again, Ali Mehdaoui with another episode of the ME Show. And boy, oh boy, I am super excited and ready to rock and roll with you because we got a good one for you today. You're going to be hearing from a superstar that I've had the privilege, the opportunity, and the honor to work alongside with, work with, and learn from. And, I'll give you a little bit about his background and the incredible information that he's going to be sharing with you today. But if this is your very first time jumping on the ME Show, I'd like to welcome you and let you know this is a generic platform for infotainment where we are focusing on business, when we are focusing on personal growth, but more importantly, giving you as much value as possible from everything that we've learned to expand our network and businesses in 9 different countries, sell books, speak in front of many major platforms, but more importantly, focus on you. And we do it by having fun as well. So I hope you like to have fun with us. So let's go ahead and get this party started. Real quick, some housekeeping rules. Feel free to comment in the actual show itself because we like to give people shout outs. So I'd like to give you a shout out and, tell the world they should be following you. That's one. Two, make sure you share this video because there are so many people out there who may learn a thing or two that can save their business, that can save them from quitting on their motivation, on their hope, on their dream, on their ambition. And last but not least, give us some hearts, baby. Give us some love, baby. Because we love you back and we're going to focus on you. And last but not least, if you comment on the box, in the comment box itself, I have what it takes. We may even feature you at the end of the show and give you your 5 minute of fame where you can tell the world why you should be in business with them. And guess what? This show itself is going to be, obviously it's airing live right now, but it ends up on so many different platforms. We get 1,000 to 2,000 viewers a week. So how would you like to be in one of those viewers' eyes, right? So let's go ahead and get this show started. And, I'd like to, first and foremost, thank you for giving us the opportunity. This is episode 7 of season 2. And today I got a very special guest for you that not only has been in the business space for a very long time, which means he has expertise, experience, knowledge, wisdom, humility, experience. Did I say experience? I'll say experience again. But this gentleman and I have been on businesses together. We have collaborated on movements together, but more importantly, we are now more than ever collaborating to kind of continue that journey on a major scale. And I don't want to take his thunder away. I don't want to steal, the shine from the man, the myth, the legend himself, the one and only Mr. Mike Lawson. What is going on, boss? How you doing today?
Ali, doing well, man. Can you hear me and see me okay?
Yes, we hear you and see you loud and clear, and I can tell you the audience does as well, and everybody's definitely excited to hear you. So first of all, sir, thank you so much for taking the time and the initiative out of your busy schedule to share the next 27 minutes with us to tell us a little bit about the journey that you've had and kind of give the value to our viewers because I know they've been waiting for it all day long. So let's get right into it. Mike, I've had the privilege to work with you. I know who you are and what you're capable of. But for those who may be watching now or in the recorded version or even listening in audio, tell us a little bit about yourself and how did you end up getting where you are right now?
Wow, that's a long story. But, I'll try to condense it and give you the Cliff Note version. But, first of all, I want to thank you for, having me on your show. Congratulations on all your success. I know you're helping a lot of people, and I think, I know this is the biggest thing that I respect about you is that even when we were doing business before in another company, you've always cared more about other people than you did, yourself. And it says a lot about you as an individual and your character. So, again, I appreciate you having me on here, and just thanks for being you, and your broadcast yesterday was phenomenal, and just being able to be vulnerable and help people out. I mean, it just says a lot about you and your integrity as a leader. But yeah, so I've been an entrepreneur full time now since 1999. It makes me sound old when you say the years. So it's been going on 18 years this summer. Was the last time I had a job. And I left, and at the time I was actually in college. My son was just born. I've always, been an entrepreneur. Always wanted to own my own business, even before I even knew what the word entrepreneur meant. I saved up some money. I wanted to buy a local franchise that that's pretty popular here on the East Coast, but I didn't have any money. So I took my life savings and back in the summer of 1999, actually, it started before then. Actually, it started in I would say in the springtime. So probably around this time, like April, May, I was getting ready. It was an ice cream and water ice or an Italian ice shop in my local neighborhood. And because I couldn't afford hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy the franchise I wanted, I tried to open up my own. And I didn't have any background in business, really didn't know what I was doing. I didn't think it was going to be hard. But, they say location. I didn't have a good location. Long story short, I ended up losing $30,000 that summer, 1999. My son was just a year old. So I was, and I was still in college, too. So I was going to school full time and trying to run this business. Just had a child. And, I was frustrated. I was scared financially out of my mind. That summer, pretty much lost everything. Didn't know what I was going to do. A mentor at the time that helped me get into college, he knew somebody selling a cleaning company and said it would be perfect for me. I could run that while I was in college. And so I did that. I didn't know anything about the cleaning industry. I'm like, well, I'm pretty clean myself. How hard can it be? But I didn't have any money to buy that business. And that business was, multiple six figures as well. But we worked out a loan that I was able to pay off within 5 years because it was an existing business. The owner of that company was, allowed me to, pay it off over 5 years, but it took 5 years to pay off. That just added to more stress of everything because I didn't know anything about this business. I didn't know if it was going to be successful or not. Long story short, we still have that business. It's a family business, and it's been very good to me and my family. But I didn't mind working hard, and I knew if I was going to work hard, I'd rather work hard for myself than for somebody else. That's why I wanted to go on my own. But shortly thereafter, a couple years after, actually in 2001, I was introduced to network marketing, and I fell in love with it. I just, from day one, I was in right away. I was what they call a red apple. I signed up right away, although I didn't have the money, which was crazy because I had my own business, but I didn't have money. That's how tight things were. But I didn't have money to join, but I said I was in. I just needed a week to get the money. My sponsor probably didn't think he was ever going to hear from me again, but I ended up getting involved, and I loved it. But it was the transformation, the personal growth that is what really, changed me to the person I am today. So, fast forward, I was with that company for 10 years, and then I made a hard decision to leave that company and to go with another company that was a startup. Ironically enough, it was my sponsor in that first company who sponsored me in the second company. And, it was a risk, but I saw the kind of money he was making, and what was crazy is he had a residual check in 2 years that was larger than mine after 10 years. So it was kind of a no-brainer, although it was the hardest decision I ever made to leave that company. I joined that company, and that's actually where we met, and it was one of the best business decisions that I ever made. And then, fast forward a couple years, then they got rid of the network marketing division of that company. And, we tried to keep everybody together, go to another company, and that company got shut down by the FTC in 7 months. So literally within a 7-month period, 2 companies closed their doors on us. And it was a very hard time, for me and my family. Just, built a brand new house, had a pretty big mortgage, and the residual income was essentially going to go away. So we were scared. It was trying times. I ended up going through a divorce because of that, because money, started to get tight. But listen, it is what it is. Everything happens for a reason. And just fired up now to be on the mission that we're on now, to be able to help people get through that. Because I'll tell you what, there's a lot of people that have gone through, that couldn't have gone through what we have gone through, or they try to go through it, and once they get a bump in the road, or they face that opposition, they end up throwing in the towel. A lot of people, unfortunately. So I know you're on the same mission as I am, just to be able to help people through that. And I know you've battled through a lot of stuff yourself as well, and have a tremendous story.
Absolutely. Wow. That, first of all, so many questions that are coming out of me right now, because that was a life and a half in a business world. So for those of you who are watching, I'm pretty sure many of you either relate or some of you are saying like, oh my God, I will never complain about my business ever again. This guy's gone through, the ringer. So here's a fun fact for you, Mike. 18 years in business. I have been in the United States for 15. So you've been in business longer than I have been in the United States. So, that's a quick check mark for you. You've been in the traditional business space since 1999, with a child. You lost everything, and you still said, I'm going to start another traditional business. You've gone through that stress, you've gone through that headache, you still worked hard. My question to you is, the natural law of our mindset is, I've had enough, I'm not going to do it again, I want to quit. But you kept on going and you kept on trying something else, and you said, I'm going, even if it's going to take me 5 years to pay off this loan, I'm going to do it again. What was that driving force that gave you that mindset, I'm not going to quit?
I had no choice. I had no choice. Growing up, my family didn't have any money. My mother pretty much raised 4 kids. She was, pretty much a single parent ever since I was, probably my early teens, if not a little bit before. My father, was abusive, was an alcoholic. Had some money at one time, but didn't do the right things with it. And I saw his failures, and I've heard of some of his failures. He didn't do the right things with his money. And then actually, when he had some money, didn't give any to my mother, and kind of just, walked out on us after some very abusive years. But in any case, she was stuck, raising 4 kids, making minimum wage and working 2 and 3 jobs. I don't know how she did it, honestly. And the sad thing is, I was actually just telling my niece this the other day. I said, my mom raised, 4 kids making minimum wage, and her 4 kids can't take care of her, which is crazy. So it's just been, and I bring up my niece because she's a lot like me, which is awesome. She's like the female version of me, which is pretty cool. She's hungry, and I've always been hungry because I didn't have anything. I've been working since I was pretty much 14 years old, and I just wanted sneakers. She couldn't afford to buy me sneakers. When all my friends had new sneakers and to buy clothes. So it was more out of a necessity, and that's why I saved up those years. And I always just wanted to own my own business, and that's when I had the chance to do it. I did it, but I did it. Money. My mother always said that money burns a hole in my pocket, because I always wanted to spend. I always wanted to do things to kind of make more money, but this was a big investment. It was $30,000 that I saved up, my life savings, and lost it that summer. But I had no choice. And then what else was I going to do? I was in school. I had student loan debt, and I was only in school to keep my mom happy. I mean, her dream for me was to have health insurance. But so I didn't have a choice. So, when this business presented itself, even though I knew nothing about that industry, I jumped on it. I thought it was a sign from God. Hey, this is where you should be. And I just jumped on it and ran with it. But, I was still trading hours for dollars. You know what I mean? Even though I had people working in the company, it was still a lot of my time. It wasn't until I saw network marketing where I saw, wow, I can really leverage my time on other people's efforts, and that's what I love, about network marketing.
So let's kind of drive into the network marketing experience. Again, you've gone through a whole experience from business 1 to business 2, not knowing what the heck you're getting yourself into. You've had its own cases of craziness, right? Its own testimony, if you will. And then something gave you the idea of, let me do something else that I also have no idea about. And, my question really is to, the relationship between traditional business and network marketing from a sense of work ethic, mindset, attitude. Is there a difference, or they both require the same?
I would say they do both require the same, but I would say even a little bit more in network marketing. And here's what I mean by that. In my traditional business, I had an existing business. So, what I mean, if you get past the 5 years and you have a business that's pretty stable, and my business was pretty stable, although, listen, I believe that if you're not growing, you're dying. So although and actually with that company, we tripled in size in 3 years, which again, that was, I believe, just a testament to my hard work. I just worked hard, and people saw that and referred other business. And I think it's actually even harder, in network marketing, because in network marketing, if someone says no, it's easy to quit because there's not a big investment. See, listen, if somebody told me they didn't like my cleaning service, or there's cobwebs, or this is dirty, well, guess what? I had a loan of hundreds of thousands of dollars that I had to pay back. There was no quitting. That wasn't even an option. But I applied that same work ethic in my network marketing business. And I said, listen, I don't care if you say no, right? I'm still going to continue to build it because, I learned early on that if you buy people's opinions, you buy their lifestyle.
100%.
So I really didn't care about anybody's opinions. I was just looking for the people that were as hungry as me. Although, in the beginning, and again, I was just telling my niece this, because she ended up joining a network marketing company about a year ago and really hasn't done much with it. And I told her, I said, listen, in the beginning, I didn't mind recruiting people because it was easy for me to talk to people I was comfortable with, but I didn't like getting customers. And my own aunt didn't become a customer. My own sister didn't become a customer. And my brother, it took me a year to become a customer. That stuff hurt, right? I didn't feel those emotions in my traditional business, right? But it was the emotional aspect, the emotions in my network marketing business that hurt me more. But it was still the same. It was still the same work ethic. But to answer your question, I think you need to persevere more in network marketing than traditional business because it's crazy. Too many people quit because the barrier to entry is low and there's not really much to lose. But when you have hundreds of thousands of dollars to lose, people tell you no, or they don't like your service, or they don't like your colors, or whatever. You pay it no mind. So I think it's a little bit of both. You got to apply that same mentality, that no quit mentality into your. And that was always my mentality. No quit. When I start something, I finish it.
No, that's incredible. And for those of you who are watching, obviously, this is why you hear, it's so cliche, but yet so true when people say, you got to treat this business like $100,000 business, like $1 million business, because if you have that attitude, you're not going to move on from it. But sometimes, again, when the entry barrier is either low or, the value in our eyes changes, we tend to look elsewhere. Now, you spoke about recruiting, and for the many, it is a very, very hard challenge to recruit, the right prospects, as we like to call them, quote unquote, A players. I know that's an area of expertise for yourself, that you focus on as a business coach. What are some of the tools that you have used or the techniques to attract those A players into your business?
Yeah, sure. Well, again, in the beginning, actually my first couple years in business, when I was out recruiting people, I was recruiting, again, I was in college at the time. I was on the 7-year program, so I was still in college, even though I was a little bit older. But I was, I was still in that college scene. I was going to bars, I was going to clubs. So my team consisted of college kids because it was easy to recruit, because that's who my environment was. I was, if you looked at my team, they were coming from clubs and bars. It's just because that was the environment. And it wasn't until we started focus on, business owners and high quality people where the business really took off and I was able to make some really, really decent money. But it was hard because I wasn't that person. Even though I did own my own traditional business, I wasn't that typical, A player. I wasn't making a lot of money. I had a lot of debt. It was glamorous to say that I owned a business, but I wasn't making a ton of money. Right? Because it took me 5 years to pay that loan off. But my point is, some of the tips and techniques that we used back then was working on yourself. It was, how did you dress? I remember the first time, one of my sponsors, my upline leaders, had a custom suit guy come over to his house, and he said, "Come over to my house." And I started making a little bit of money, and he said, "Come over to my house." Didn't tell me what it was for. As soon as I went there, he was like, "You need a suit. You need a custom suit. You need my grant," right? Because we wanted to attract those business owners. So it was, your appearance, how you dressed, how you carried yourself. And I hate to admit this, it was also the kind of car you drove, things like that. Now, again, those material things back then meant everything. But today, that material things don't mean anything, in hindsight. But today, now, with the evolution of social media, listen, we didn't have Facebook and social media back in 2001 to, 2006 or 7. And now with the evolution of live video, how we're able to connect with people all over the world. I guarantee we'll have people all over the world. Listen, if you're outside the United States and you're watching this broadcast, drop a comment. Where are you watching from? And I'm connecting with people in all different countries because of live video. So I can't imagine if we had live video like we do now, back in 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, when we really started to hit some momentum in network marketing. So I think anybody in any industry, but specifically network marketing, to get your brand out there, to get your name out there, it's free advertising. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's incredible. Now, to the relevance, since you've talked about it, social media, Facebook Live, and attracting individuals. What are some of the key elements that you would recommend to the individual that's watching right now to utilize a Facebook Live? Because that's something that you and I both see eye to eye. Our mentors obviously have embedded that within us, and it's part of what we do in a day-to-day activity. How does that make a difference in a business, especially, whether network marketing or traditional, but how does that make that impact?
Yeah, it's huge. And I fought it for a few years, and you know this.
Yeah.
Right? We were told all the time, start, doing live videos, brand yourself. Brand yourself, not a company. Well, if you see some of my posts from a couple years ago, and I really don't like when it pops up when you were doing 5 years ago and 3 years, because I kept promoting that company. This is the greatest company in the world. And then I left it, right? Because there was a better. Now, there's nothing wrong with leaving one company to go to the next, right? There's no difference that if there's a better opportunity for you and your family, because you have to do what's best for you and your family, right? When an NBA player gets traded to another company or decides to leave to go to another team, right? He's not quitting on his dream. He's just going what's better for his family. So I would say, listen, you got to keep it professional. You got to brand yourself. You need to get the word out there. You need to be doing live videos. My first live video took me 4 hours to do. I was so nervous. But I think, everything that you put out there, okay, you're either attracting people or repelling people. Mm-hmm. My post years ago, a lot of it was negative. I mean, I was literally verbally throwing up on people with my post. Greatest company in the world. You need to be doing this. If you're not doing this, you're a loser. I mean, it was maybe not that bad, but it was teetering on that line. So, I mean, listen, you need to be positive. People want to, and listen, if people don't like what you're putting out there, they can just turn off the notifications. They don't have to watch your lives. They don't have to look at your posts. If people are engaging with you, it's because they choose to engage with you. I mean, when you take a look at your business page and your personal page, I mean, you're professional, very professional, right? So I would encourage people to be professional. What's your brand? What's your image? How do you want people to see you? No different than me going out and buying that custom suit. When I first started making a little bit of money, it was because I wanted to attract high-quality A players to my business. And even because I was wearing that stuff, I didn't immediately start attracting people because I needed to work on myself up here, right? So it was personal development. But now with live video and everything that we're putting on social media, you need to keep it positive. There's so much negative stuff out in the world. People are so sick and tired of negativity. And listen, there's some people that don't like, the positivity. And I'll tell you what, when it was the aha moment for me to start doing live video? I saw somebody on my news feed say, how do I block all these live videos? It's so annoying. They were so negative. And you know what? To me, that was like, I need to be doing live videos. If that's bothering the masses, if that's bothering the weak-minded individuals, I needed to be doing it, right? And now I'm telling you, if you have any kind of business, you're a realtor, you need to be doing live. I see realtors doing open houses, showing people the house. Listen, I know people from years ago that are realtors showing houses. Listen, if I ever want to move, just from that person doing it, if I ever want to move and I'm in that area, I'm going to give her the business because I see what she's doing. I see her hustle. I like her appearance. I like the way she's conducting herself in business. So again, it's building your brand.
No, that's incredible, and I know that we have few announcements for the masses that are obviously watching. You recently have introduced your personal website, and at the same time, you have a major event that is happening on June 1st. If you want to elaborate on those, we'd love to hear some info.
Yeah, sure. No, thanks for the plug. I appreciate that. So June 1st. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know all the different time zones, but June 1st, which is a week from Thursday, so just about 9 days from now, we are doing a free webinar just to talk about how to attract those A players. We're going to get into what's an A player, how to attract how to use social media, live video to attract those A players into your business. So whatever industry you're in, this is going to be great for you. So make sure you tune in. I'll make sure that we drop the link in the comment section after we end this broadcast. But yeah, so it's going to be, it's going to be a great webinar. It's absolutely free. Make sure you check it out. So if you know anybody that's looking to use social media to brand themselves, to attract more business, you definitely want to get them on this webinar.
And who is this webinar for? Just network marketers or, professionals, anybody?
It's for both. I think any industry, if you're in sales and you're looking to use social media to increase your sales or to attract more business, this is for you.
That's amazing. And please, ladies and gentlemen, remember it's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time because, Mike, just so you know, right now you have people who are watching from the UK, Ghana, and Mexico, obviously along with the different parts of the U.S. So we want to make sure that everybody keeps in mind that we're talking about 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on June 1st. We're going to have the link in the comment box below. I am super excited because I know what Mike has done for himself. He has created, a name, a brand that he is carrying right now, and I'm privileged to have the opportunity to be working with him. I will personally be on that webinar to watch, support, learn, take notes. And folks, here's what I'll tell you. This is why I love generic platforms like what Mike is going to be doing. See, I call it, you go to school, take a whole lot, and then you can retell it. Everything that Mike is going to be sharing with you and educated on, you can use that for your own business, for your own team, for your own organization, for your own traditional business. I've learned from this man a whole lot more, and I cannot wait for you all to learn as well. And again, that's going to be June 1st at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The link is going to be in the comment box. Now, Mike, we usually have this one fun game that we do on the show that I purposely did not prepare you for, although we spoke earlier a couple of times.
Okay.
Because if I prepped you for it, it wouldn't have worked. So we call it the one topic game. So I'll give you a topic, and you got to give me the first thing that comes to mind. If I get you to stay quiet for 4 seconds, you lost it. So far, I have not had one person who has failed. So you got to stay on your toes for this one. You ready?
Okay, good.
Here we go. 18 years.
That's a song.
Traditional business.
Ice cream store.
1999.
1999, the last time I had a job.
Child.
My son and daughter, Michael and Brittany.
Losing it all.
Wow, $30,000. Best life lesson I've ever learned.
Loan.
Multiple 6 figures.
Stress.
High.
Hard work.
All day, every day.
Network marketing.
Love it.
Recruiting.
Challenging, but fun.
Appearance.
Important.
Social media.
Extremely important.
Live videos.
Branding, free advertising.
Opportunities.
All over.
Branding.
All around it.
Branding.
Branding?
Yep.
Critical.
A players.
Momentum.
Business.
Money.
Life.
Enjoy every day.
Ali Mehdaoui.
The best.
We love you for that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have heard from Mike Lawson himself, who immediately after we finish this webinar, look in the comment box below, whether you are watching this on Facebook, YouTube, or you're listening on SoundCloud or anywhere for that matter, the comment box itself is going to have the link for this exclusive webinar on June 1st that I cannot wait for you all to get the information that he has shared with us thus far. And think about it like this. guys. He just gave us a half an hour of his time and all the value that you've just received. Imagine how much more you're going to have in an hour plus webinar with him. So I cannot wait. I'm super excited. I appreciate you all from Europe, from Africa, from South America, and obviously here from the United States. Make sure you join us at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in about 30 minutes at workwithali.com/prospect. It is the last prospecting webinar that we are ever doing this year, so you don't want to miss out. You will not have access unless you register. Again, workwithali.com/prospect. It is absolutely complimentary, but very, very, very valuable. Mike, we appreciate your time again, my friend, and we look forward to rocking out with you on June 1st. And to you all, it has been a pleasure, awesome time, and we will see you next time. Take care, everybody. Ali Mehdaoui, we are out. See you guys later.